Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're going to talk about something that can completely change your life. A simple truth, but a powerful one. No risk, no reward. Most people want success, but they are afraid to take risks. They want a better life, but they stay in the same place. Why? Because they are comfortable, because they are scared, because they don't want to fail. But here is the truth. If you don't take risks, you don't grow. In this video, you will understand why risk is necessary and how it can transform your life. Lesson 1. Staying safe is the biggest risk. The first truth and the most dangerous illusion in life. Staying safe is the biggest risk. Now listen carefully. Most people believe that staying safe protects them. They think, if I don't take risks, I won't fail. If I don't try, I won't lose. If I stay where I am, I will be okay. And at first, it feels true. You feel comfortable. You feel secure. You feel relaxed. No pressure, no fear, no uncertainty. But here is the reality. That comfort is slowly destroying your future. Let's understand this deeply. When you stay in your comfort zone, you stop growing. You do the same things every day. You think the same way. You live the same life. And because of that, nothing changes. No new skills, no new opportunities, no new success. Just the same life, again and again. Now ask yourself one question. If you stay the same for 5 years, where will your life go? Think about it. Will your income grow? Will your confidence increase? Will your dreams become reality? Or will everything stay exactly the same? This is the real danger. Not failure, but no progress. Now listen carefully. Growth only happens when you step into discomfort. When you try something new, when you take a risk, when you face uncertainty, that is where your life starts changing. But most people avoid that moment because it feels uncomfortable, because it feels scary, because it feels risky. So they choose the easy path. They choose comfort. They choose safety. But what they don't understand is comfort today creates regret tomorrow. Let me explain this in a simple way. Imagine 2 people. One person takes risks. He tries new things. He fails sometimes. He struggles. But he learns. He grows. He improves. The second person plays safe. He avoids risk. He avoids failure. He stays comfortable, but he doesn't grow. Now, after 5 years, who will have a better life? The one who took risks or the one who stayed safe? The answer is clear. Now here is something very powerful. The cost of staying safe is invisible. You don't see it immediately. You don't feel it instantly, but slowly. It builds inside you. Missed opportunities, unrealized dreams, lost potential. And one day, you wake up and realize you didn't fail, but you also didn't succeed. And that feeling is painful because deep inside, you could have done more. You could have been more, but you chose safety. Now understand this truth deeply. Real security does not come from staying safe. It comes from becoming strong. When you build skills, when you face challenges, when you take risks, you become capable. And capability creates real security. So what should you do? Start small. You don't need to take huge risks immediately. Take small steps. Try something new. Learn something new. Do something that scares you a little. And slowly, increase your level. Because courage grows with action. Remember this powerful line. The biggest risk in life is not taking any risk at all. Because when you don't risk, you don't grow. You don't improve. You don't change your life. So don't hide in comfort. Don't run from uncertainty. Step forward, take the risk. Because on the other side of that risk is your next level, your better life, your real potential. And that is where your journey begins. Lesson 2. Fear is the wall between you and success. The second truth, and the biggest reason most people never change their life. Fear is the wall between you and success. Now understand this very deeply. Every time you think about doing something big, starting something new, taking a risk, what comes first? Fear. Fear of failure. Fear of rejection. Fear of losing money. Fear of what people will say. And because of this fear, you stop. You don't take action. You don't move forward. You don't even try. Now listen carefully. Fear is not your enemy. Fear is a test. It shows you something very important. It shows you that you are about to do something different, something new, something that can change your life. And your mind is not used to it. So it tries to protect you. Your brain is designed for survival, not for success. It wants safety. It wants comfort. It wants predictability. So when you think about risk, your brain creates fear. It says, don't do this. What if you fail? What if something goes wrong? And you believe it. But here's the truth most people never understand. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. Confidence is on the other side of fear. Growth is on the other side of fear. Success is on the other side of fear. But if you never cross that wall, you will never reach those things. Now think about this. Have you ever done something scary? And after doing it, you felt proud? Maybe you spoke in front of people. Maybe you tried something new. Maybe you took a small risk. At first, you were afraid. But after doing it, you felt strong. Why? Because you crossed fear. Now imagine if you keep doing that again and again. Every time you feel fear, you take action. Every time you feel uncomfortable, you move forward. What will happen? Your fear will become smaller. Your confidence will become bigger. And slowly, the things that once scared you will feel normal. Now listen carefully. Fear does not go away before action. It goes away after action. This is very important. Many people wait to feel confident first. They think, I will start when I feel ready. I will act when I feel confident. But that moment never comes. Because confidence is created by action, not before it. Now here is another powerful truth. Fear is temporary, but regret is permanent. If you take a risk and fail, the fear ends. You learn something, you grow, you move forward. But if you don't try, that what if stays in your mind forever. What if I started? What if I tried? What if I took that chance? And that regret is much more painful than failure. So what should you do? First, understand your fear. Don't ignore it. Ask yourself, what exactly am I afraid of? Failure? Judgment? Loss? When you understand your fear, it becomes weaker. Second, take small actions. You don't need to take a huge risk immediately. Take small steps. Speak one sentence. Start one task. Try one new thing. Small actions break fear. Third, change your mindset. Instead of thinking, what if I fail? Start thinking, what if I succeed? What if this changes my life? Because your thoughts create your direction. Fourth, accept failure as part of growth. Failure is not your enemy. It is your teacher. Every successful person has failed. But they didn't stop. They learned and kept moving. Remember this powerful line. Fear will always be there. But success belongs to those who act anyway. So don't wait for fear to disappear. It won't. Move forward with fear. take the step, even if your hands shake, because on the other side of that fear is your next level, your stronger self, your success, and that is where your real journey begins. Lesson 3. Every successful person took risks. The third truth, and one you must understand if you truly want to change your life. Every successful person you see today took risks. Now think about this deeply. Look at any successful person. They were not always successful. They were once beginners. They were once confused. They were once afraid, just like you. But there's one thing that made them different. They didn't stay where they were. They took a step, even when it was risky, even when it was uncertain, even when they were scared. Now ask yourself this question. Do you think success comes without risk? No, it never has. It never will. Because success means doing something different. And doing something different always involves risk. Think about someone who starts a business. They invest money. They don't know if it will work. They take a risk. Think about someone who changes their career. They leave stability. They step into uncertainty. They take a risk. Think about someone who follows their passion. They go against society. They face judgment. They take a risk. Now here is the truth. Behind every success, there is a story of risk. But people don't see that part. They only see the result. They see the money. They see the lifestyle. They see the success. But they don't see the fear, the struggle, the sleepless nights, the failures. This creates a misunderstanding. People think success is easy. They were lucky. It just happened for them. No, it didn't just happen. It was built through risk, through courage, through action. Now listen carefully. Successful people are not fearless. They just act despite fear. They feel the same fear you feel, but they don't let it stop them. They move forward anyway. And that one decision changes everything. Now here is something very powerful. When you take a risk, even if you fail, you grow. You learn something new. You gain experience. You become stronger. But when you don't take a risk, you stay the same. No growth, no learning, no improvement. So which one is better? Failing and growing, or staying safe and staying stuck? The answer is clear. Now imagine your future. If you keep avoiding risks, what will your life look like? Same routine, same results, same problems. But if you start taking risks, your life begins to change. New opportunities appear. New paths open. New success becomes possible. Now listen to this powerful truth. You cannot have a different life if you keep doing the same things. And doing something different always requires risk. So what should you do? First, accept that risk is part of success. Don't try to avoid it. Understand it, respect it, but don't fear it. Second, learn from people who took risks. Study their journey. Understand their decisions, because their stories will give you courage. Third, start taking action. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for full confidence. Start now, even if it is small. Fourth, trust the process. You may not see results immediately, but every step you take is building your future. Remember this powerful line. No one becomes successful by staying comfortable. Success belongs to those who are willing to step into the unknown. So stop waiting. Stop doubting. Stop holding yourself back. Take the step. Take the risk. Because every successful person you admire today was once in your place, and they chose to move forward. And now, it's your turn. Lesson 4. Risk creates opportunity. The fourth truth, and one that can completely change your mindset. Risk creates opportunity. Now understand this deeply. Most people are waiting for opportunities. They say, I will start when I get a chance. I will act when the opportunity comes. I will move when everything is perfect. But here is the truth. Opportunities don't come to you. You create them. And how do you create them? By taking risks. Think about this. When you try something new, you enter a new situation. When you enter a new situation, you meet new people. When you meet new people, you discover new possibilities. And this is how opportunities are born. But if you stay in the same place, doing the same things, talking to the same people, living the same routine, what happens? Nothing. No new opportunities, no new connections, no new growth. Just the same life, repeating. Now listen carefully. Every risk you take opens a new door. You may not see it immediately. You may not understand it at first. But something always changes. Let's understand this with a simple example. Imagine you decide to learn a new skill. At first, it feels risky. What if I fail? What if I waste time? But you still try, and because of that, you gain knowledge, you gain confidence, you become better. And one day, that skill creates an opportunity. Maybe a job, maybe a business, maybe a connection. Now imagine if you never took that risk. Would that opportunity exist? No, because it was created by your action. Now here is another powerful truth. Even when risk leads to failure, it still creates opportunity. Yes, failure also creates opportunity. Because failure teaches you. It shows you what doesn't work. It improves your thinking. It prepares you for the next step. So, risk is never wasted. It always gives you something. Either success or experience. And both are valuable. Now listen carefully. People who take risks see more opportunities. Why? Because they are active, they are trying, they are moving, they are exploring, and when you move, you discover. But people who avoid risks, they don't see opportunities, not because opportunities don't exist, but because they are not in the position to see them. They are standing still, and opportunities don't come to those who stand still. Now think about this question. How many opportunities have you missed? Because you were afraid to take a risk. Think about it. Opportunities to learn. Opportunities to grow. Opportunities to change your life. All missed because of fear. Now understand this powerful line. Your life changes the moment you take action. Not when you think, not when you plan, but when you act. Because action creates movement. And movement creates opportunity. So what should you do? First, stop waiting for the perfect moment. There is no perfect time. Start with what you have. Start where you are. Second, take small risks daily. Try something new. Learn something new. Speak something new. Small risks build confidence. Third, stay open. When you take risks, be ready to learn. Be ready to adapt. Because opportunities come in different forms. Fourth, trust the process. You may not see results immediately, but every risk is moving you forward. Even if it feels slow, you are growing. Remember this powerful line. Opportunities are not found. They are created. And they are created by people who are willing to take risks. So don't wait. Don't stay still. Take action. Take the risk. Because the moment you step forward, new doors will open, new paths will appear, and your life will begin to change. And that is where real growth begins. Lesson 5. Failure is part of the process. The fifth truth, and the one most people are afraid to accept. Failure is part of the process. Now understand this very deeply. Most people don't avoid risk because they hate hard work. They avoid risk because they are afraid of failing. They think, if I fail, everything is over. If I fail, people will judge me. If I fail, it means I'm not good enough. And because of this fear, they don't even try. But here's the truth you must understand. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is part of success. Every successful person has failed. Not once, not twice, many times. But they didn't stop. They learned. They improved. They tried again. Now think about this. If you try something new, will you be perfect the first time? No. You will make mistakes. You will struggle. You may fail. And that is normal. That is how learning works. Let's understand this in a simple way. When a child learns to walk, they fall again and again. But do they stop? No. They get up, they try again, and slowly, they learn. Now imagine if that child said, I fell once. I will never try again. Would they ever walk? Never. This is exactly what adults do. They fail once, and they stop. They give up. They decide, this is not for me. But the truth is, they didn't fail because they are weak. They failed because they were learning. Now listen carefully. Failure is feedback. It shows you what went wrong, what needs improvement, what to change next time. And this information is powerful because it helps you grow faster. Now here is something very important. Failure builds strength. When you fail, you become mentally stronger. You become more experienced. You become more prepared. And the next time, you perform better. But if you avoid failure, you also avoid growth. You stay the same. You don't improve. You don't move forward. Now think about this question. Would you rather fail and grow, or stay safe and stay stuck? The answer is clear. Now here is another powerful truth. People don't remember your failures, but you will remember your regrets. Others may judge you for a moment, but you will judge yourself for a lifetime if you never try. Now understand this deeply. Failure is temporary. It hurts for some time. But then, it passes. And what stays? The lesson, the experience, the growth. So what should you do? First, change your mindset about failure. Don't see it as something bad. See it as part of the journey. Second, take action without fear. Yes, you may fail, but that is okay, because you will learn something valuable. Third, don't take failure personally. Failing does not mean you are a failure. It means you tried something, and that is powerful. Fourth, keep going. This is the most important step. Don't stop after one failure. Don't stop after two. Keep moving. Because success comes to those who don't quit. Remember this powerful line. You don't fail when you lose. You fail when you stop trying. So don't be afraid. Take the risk, accept the failure, learn from it, and move forward. Because every failure you face today is building the success you will achieve tomorrow. And that is how winners are made. Lesson 6. You regret what you didn't try. You don't regret failure. You regret what you didn't try. Now listen carefully. Right now, you may be afraid of failing. You may be afraid of losing. You may be afraid of what people will say. And because of that, you stop yourself. You don't take the risk. You don't take the chance. You don't take the step. But here is what happens over time. Days pass. Months pass. Years pass. And slowly, your fear disappears. But something else appears. Regret. You start asking yourself questions like, What if I tried? What if I started? What if I took that chance? And those questions don't go away. They stay in your mind. They come back again and again. Now understand this deeply. Failure hurts for a short time, but regret hurts for a lifetime. When you fail, you feel bad for some time. But then you learn, you move on, you grow. But when you don't try, there is no learning. There is no growth. There is only a question that never gets answered. What if? Now imagine your future. Imagine yourself after 5 years or 10 years. You look back at your life and you see all the chances you had, all the ideas you didn't start, all the risks you didn't take, all the opportunities you ignored. How will you feel? Proud or disappointed? Now listen carefully. The pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret is permanent. If you take action today, it may feel hard, it may feel uncomfortable, it may feel scary, but that feeling will pass. But if you don't act, you will carry that regret for years. And that is much more painful. Now here is something very powerful. Most people at the end of their life don't say, "I wish I didn't fail." They say, "I wish I tried. I wish I took that chance. I wish I followed my dreams." Why? Because deep inside, they know they had the opportunity, but they didn't use it. Now understand this truth. Your life is built on the choices you make, or the chances you avoid. Every time you say no to risk, you say no to a new possibility. Every time you avoid action, you delay your growth. Now ask yourself one question. What is worse, trying and failing, or never trying at all? The answer is clear, because when you try, even if you fail, you become stronger. You gain experience. You learn something. But when you don't try, you gain nothing. Only regret. So what should you do? First, stop overthinking. Don't wait for perfect conditions. They will never come. Second, take action. Even if it is small, even if it is not perfect, just start. Third, trust yourself. You are capable. You can learn. You can grow. Fourth, accept uncertainty. You don't need to know everything. You just need to take the first step. Remember this powerful line. One day, or day one, you decide. So don't wait. Don't delay. Don't let fear control your life. Because the biggest pain in life is not failure. It is knowing. You had a chance, and you didn't take it. So take the risk. Take the step. Take the chance. And live a life with no regrets. Lesson 7. Take calculated risks, not blind risks. The seventh truth, and one that will make you smart, not reckless. Take calculated risks, not blind risks. Now understand this very clearly. When people hear take risks, they think, do something big, jump into anything, take huge chances without thinking. But that is not correct. That is not smart. That is dangerous. Listen carefully. Risk does not mean being careless. Risk means being courageous, with awareness. There is a big difference. Blind risk is when you act without thinking. Calculated risk is when you act after understanding. Let's break this down. A blind risk says, I don't care what happens. I will just do it. A calculated risk says, I understand the situation. I know the possible outcomes. And I am ready to take the step. Now, which one is better? Of course, calculated risk, because it gives you direction. It reduces unnecessary loss, and it increases your chances of success. Now understand something powerful. Successful people don't take random risks. They take smart risks. They think before acting. They ask questions like, what is the worst that can happen? Can I handle this situation? What will I learn even if I fail? And once they are clear, they take action. Now listen carefully. You don't need to remove all risk. That is impossible. Every decision in life has some risk, but you can reduce confusion. You can increase clarity. Let's understand this with a simple example. Imagine you want to start something new. A business, a skill, a new path. A blind risk would be quitting everything, jumping without preparation, hoping everything works. But a calculated risk would be learning first, understanding the process, starting small, testing yourself, and then growing step by step. Do you see the difference? One is emotional, the other is strategic. Now here is another powerful truth. Small risks lead to big results. You don't need to take one big jump. You can take small steps, step by step, and slowly. Those small risks build confidence, they build experience, they build success. Now many people say, I am waiting for the perfect time. But listen carefully. There is no perfect time. There is only a prepared mind. So instead of waiting, prepare yourself. Learn, understand, plan, and then act. Now here is something very important. Even calculated risks involve uncertainty. You will never have 100% guarantee. There will always be some unknown. And that is okay, because growth lives in uncertainty. Now understand this powerful line. If there is no risk, there is no growth. But if there is no thinking, there is unnecessary loss. So balance both. Courage plus clarity. Action plus awareness. Now what should you do? First, think before you act. Understand the situation. Know your strengths. Know your limits. Second, start small. Don't jump too big too fast. Build step by step. Third, learn continuously. The more you learn, the better decisions you make. Fourth, accept responsibility. When you take a risk, you own the result. Success or failure, you learn from both. Remember this powerful line. Don't be afraid to take risks. Be afraid of staying the same. But at the same time, be wise, be smart, be prepared. Because real winners are not reckless. They are calculated risk takers. So take the step, but take it with clarity. Take the risk, but take it with understanding. And slowly, you will build a life that is not based on luck, but on smart decisions. And that is how real success is created. So remember this. You can stay safe, or you can grow. You can avoid risk, or you can create your future. Because in the end, no risk, no reward. Take the chance, take the step, take the risk, and change your life. And if this video inspired you, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs this message.